What's up, guys? Tony Rican here, and as you can tell from this guy here, this guy here, this guy here, it's not a normal episode. We're having a special episode of Average Guy Gourmet. I'm joined by Rage and Rich from Tango Comics, and we're going to talk a little bit of the Infinium. They have Volume 2 coming out. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk a little Volume 1, their loves, their passion for comic books, and, well, food. I know you want to know what we're making. I'm going to be making some great Italian beef sliders. And you guys know exactly what these are, don't you? That's right. These are awesome. So let's just go and get started and jump right into this one. Now remember, guys, if you love all the cool stuff I'm putting out here, the easiest way to help my channel keep on rolling and grow is just to hit like and share on this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel or my Facebook and share those, and you'll get tons of really cool recipe. Now, if you want to see what's going on with Tango Comics and all the cool stuff they're doing, you can check them out. Tango Comics on Twitter, Tango Comics on Facebook, Tango_Comics on Instagram, or the Infinium.com for the website, and that'll take you to their awesome little IndieGoGo. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Right now, I'm going to jump into these really cool sliders. Now, I went to the store, bought some frozen Italian beef. I'm just going to go ahead and do what the recipe said, the instructions say. I'm going to heat that up, get that melted down. While those heat up and melt down, though, I'm going to go ahead, slice an onion, and dice a little bit of garlic. Okay, a lot of garlic, and then we'll be ready to move on. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butter and we'll saute those onions I sliced up in that butter, get them nice and soft just so they start to caramelize. While that's caramelizing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom half of my buns, throw those in the oven for about 5 minutes so they get nice and toasty, because this is a little bit of a messy recipe and I don't want them to get soggy. So now my onions are cooked, that beef is cooked, my buns are toasted, I'm ready to move on. I'm going to take some provolone cheese, put it over these toasted buns. Then I'm going to go ahead and take some of that beef, put it on top of my provolone. And see, this is why we toasted those buns. This beef is so nice and juicy, I didn't want it just to destroy the buns. Now that I have that beef on there, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this onion. We'll take some roasted red pepper. I'm going to take some chopped up pepperoncini peppers, put that on there. Top that with some mozzarella cheese. Then last, I have some mayo here, and that garlic I chopped up. I'll put the garlic in the mayo, mix it together. Then I'll spread that over the inside of my top buns, close these up, and throw them in the oven for, say, 8 to 10 minutes, and these bad boys will be done. And that's it, guys. This awesome little recipe is done. We're about to dig in, chow down, and try this one, but at the same time, we're going to talk a little bit more to the guys from Tango Comics, not only to find out why they're in comics, but to find out more about the Infinium Volume 2. So guys, you said you met in high school over comic books, and you did a little bit of comic book stuff in high school. How did that lead to this awesome, huge book over here?
Well, we had this vested interest, and over time I believe that both of us tried our own hands. I submitted art after art, but my art wasn't quite there yet, so I got a lot of rejections. Rich was submitting script after script, but well, it's kind of like making a deal with the devil. I can tell you his share of issues with that. Finally, after all these years where it was one of those unrealized dreams, he got to a point where he had to get it out of the system. He had a story, and one story turned into a couple of stories. He approached me about assisting him with this, and we went into a mode of self-publishing. He had to get this done. He had to get this story told. And that became his passion project. I'd known him for decades and offered to assist with him when he asked.
So now we're on to volume 2, and the main character, this awesome little figure here, this is the good guy. So tell us a little bit about the book. I mean, don't give us the story, obviously. We want you guys to fund it on IndieGoGo. Go ahead and make sure you help an awesome project get off the ground and be part of reading an awesome story that's about...
Well, it's about a man who is actually wanting more out of his life, and he reaches this point in his existence where he's like, hey, I think I've got everything here, but there's something more to it that I want. And it's kind of a wish fulfillment story, because as soon as he had that thought, some presence detected that and takes him away to another part of the universe where he's going to be challenged to fight and gain a power, for the ultimate power in the universe. So this second series really takes off, right after this completed story here, and where you see a man who's come back after an aftermath of battle, attaining a power that he didn't want, becoming a superhero that he had no interest in, and having to start his life all over back on Earth. And it's a pretty messed up story, having to deal with all the changes that has been gone. It's been about 4 years, and the world's left him behind.
So let me ask, like for anybody who's going to go ahead and give to the IndieGoGo, can they still get volume 1?
Yes.
If they want to make sure they're kept up on the stories and they want to not be left behind themselves, how can they grab volume 1?
Yeah, so as part of one of the offerings that we have for those who are not acclimated and want to get from the ground up, we still have the opportunity to provide not only the original omnibus, but the second part of the story as well. So it's a way to kind of, leave no one behind. So
right.
We want both, we want our audience to have, if you're familiar with it, that's great. If you're not familiar with it, not a problem. We're solved for it here. We'll have the opportunity to get both books.
And that's all right on the IndieGoGo then?
Absolutely.
So what are the tiers that are available to people who are looking to kick in? I mean, if you know off the top of your head, I know that stuff is planned out and you got to really think about it. And then I'm asking you, go back and remember everything you've ever thought about now.
Yeah, a little tough via wholesale, but I'll try and rummage through it through the top of my head here. So obviously we have digital and print versions. So for those of you who prefer digital, that's great. We offer it in that format as well. But if you want both digital and print, we give it to you in that format. So we have we have the original book as an offering. We have the two combined as an offering as well.
Thank you.
And then on top of that, we have these nifty figures of the characters that you'll read in the second volume that we can include with that, along with the books. And there's some original art and all sorts of neat stuff.
You guys can see these awesome little figures that are in front of us here. Main character, other characters in the book. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. I'm going to read volume 1, and I've got to catch up. I'm right with you guys. I will be supporting this project, and that's why you guys have never seen me do anything like this before. And that's because this is a project I actually believe in. That's why you guys see me doing this. It's not something I've been doing this channel for years, never put out, and went ahead and did something like this. And if you guys know me, you do know comic books are a passion of mine, so I'm totally down with helping anybody out who's got a great book they want to get off the ground or continue, as is this case. So you're the writer then. That must mean you're...
I'm a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, okay.
Help with dialogue, storyboards. Sometimes I contribute art, inker, colorist for a few issues here and there on the first book, and just overall support for the second book.
So basically you're saying he had the easy job and you did everything. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't want to say it out loud.
He's that man about talent.
Yeah. I'm an all-purpose tool.
So if you had to give a inspiration, something that people could say, okay, it was inspired by this type of story. I'm not saying a specific character like it's inspired by Captain America and everyone's going to go, oh, it's the Fighting American. No. If there's a story or an overarching character type that you had to liken him to, or even mythology or something that you had to liken him to, so people go, okay, I can get into that.
Yeah, without a doubt, it was based on Greek mythology. If you're familiar with Odysseus and the Odyssey, that was definitely an influence for getting this story completed and written. So it was about 20 years before I got over my gun shyness to get this out the door. That just wasn't good enough in my eyes, and it was plus, that's the problem with OCB is that you keep looking at it and want to fine tune it, and you got to cut it loose and let it go.
I do think that's a problem with anybody in the artistic field is you look at it and you go, it's not done yet. Everybody else looks at it and goes, this is awesome. And you're like, no, it could be better.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem too, is that, oftentimes you're so obsessed with it that you're just looking at the faults, you're not looking at, the overall completion of it, because a lot of people aren't going to look at that layer cake and find all these air pockets. They're going to look at the sum of the whole and just try to admire and taste and enjoy it,
So guys, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep pounding into you guys. It's Tango Comics on Facebook, Tango Comics on, sorry about that, I was swallowing a little bit, Tango Comics on Twitter, Tango_Comics on Instagram, and then it's theinfinium.com for the website, which will kick you, it'll help you get over to that IndieGoGo, let you find that, let you guys kick into an awesome project. And I know I'm over here pounding it, but this is one I do believe in that I'm going to be kicking into, that I think you guys should kick into, because I've said it before, like on my personal Facebook, I believe investing in a friend's, future like this, a project they really feel passionate, is the best investment you can make. And let's be honest, with what you save cooking this instead of going to McDonald's, you'll have enough to kick in to an awesome project like that. So, where do you see? I mean, do you have plans for more volumes in your head?
We do, as a matter of fact. So what we're looking at with the introduction to the IndieGoGo is the first volume of 3. So you're going to see and follow his journey of reinvigorating and refining himself, and hopefully coming back to his family.
So guys, this is not a one and done. This is not, hey, I read it, I can toss this character aside and never worry about him again. It says, hey, I'm going to have an ongoing character I can really sink my teeth into, and I can emotionally invest my time in.
Definitely.
Very cool.
It is truly a saga.
Sorry, I'm stuffing my face. Because even when we're talking about comic books, I can't ignore that these things are friggin' good, guys.
I've got to agree. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And cameraman Mike is back there looking at us very jealous right now.
Yeah. So we're going to draw this out.
I'm savoring this. Oh, man.
So if you had to give, each of you, I want you guys to give one key that you think for you sells this. That is a must read or must see, a must have.
Once you read it, for me, I can say that it is a place that every adult has been at one time, is mentally in the space of our central character, Brianville, the Infinium. That we have all wondered, is there more to life than this?
Sorry about that.
No. Is there more to life than this? We've all been there, and very often we've all asked this of ourselves. We've gotten what we were looking for, and maybe it was more than we could handle after all. And you have to step up to some level of responsibility. I think that is, you know what, and I've had a number of fans at various conventions say the same thing. I feel this. I can identify with this.
It's the ability to connect with the character. Really, okay.
Before there's a superhero, there's a man. And it's, a lot of the focal point, and this is the opportunity I had with this, going forward with this story, is really giving you context on the man. And just all that he's going through and all that he's understanding. So, while he is a superhero, you have to understand what makes the superhero is the person. And that's the fundamentals with it. So this is the first time that, we cut our teeth with this. But, with this second story, you're going to see a beautiful medley of fantasy, science fiction, and some superhero action. So it's for us, and some horror on top of that. So I wanted to take multiple genres and mash it all together to tell this story. So each chapter is going to take you on an emotional roller coaster of various kinds.
Very cool. Like I said, guys, Tango Comics, The Infinium Volume 2. Sliding on my words a little bit there.
Oh, yeah.
The Infinium Volume 2. You guys are going to want to check them out. Tango Comics, Twitter, Tango Comics, Facebook, Tango_Comics on Instagram, and theinfinium.com for their IndieGoGo. And like I said, you guys can see some really cool stuff here. I've got posters back there. There's all kinds of, if you want to hand those, I'll show some of them off. So we got some, Mike's avoiding the camera over here. We got some cool, are these some of the, I mean, people can get the posters too, or on the, is it on the tier system?
Yeah, so we will be offering some original artwork with the series. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look at this. He's handing me some more really awesome stuff over here.
And these are all from Volume 1.
So these are all, I'm trying to get up a little bit because I don't want to take up the whole camera and try to angle it so the light from the windows doesn't hit it wrong. And the cover, I gotta say, the cover's a really cool looking cover. It's making me feel a little bit, I think a little Queen here.
Yeah,
a little inspiration.
You got it right. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna show that again. Here, try to get no glare on that one.
There's no question about it. That was, that was our little nod to one of our favorite albums.
So there you guys go. You've got an awesome little recipe here. We got a little time to chit chat with the guys from Tango Comics and their newest work, the Infinium Vol.2, which is on IndieGoGo now. That I really think you guys should kick in a little bit and check it out. Totally worth it. And so you got good food, good reading. What else is there in life?
I don't know.
So that's it for me. If you guys want to kick in anything else, feel free. If not,
I just want to say thank you for a great meal, definitely, and for the conversation. I'm a sucker for good conversation, and you have plenty.
Like we did record some, and it's going to be in there. You'll see. But we had a ton of comic book talk. Comic books, sci-fi, movies, and pro wrestling. That's a tunnel for me that, like, if it starts going, you'll never see me again. Anyways, guys, so like I said, we had some great Italian beef sliders. We've got some really cool stuff from Tango Comics with the Infinium. Volume 1 is part of one of the tiers on their IndieGoGo to get Volume 2 up and running. So go ahead, guys. Check out the Infinium.com. Go ahead, kick in one of the tiers. Everything you can do helps this great work come out. And that's it. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care. Tony, thanks again.
Thank you.